So we're running a little bit behind this week on the video. A lot of things have been happening. Trying to get everything taken care of while we're here in Oklahoma.
And it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's hard to get those things taken care of. As you can see behind us, we got the truck fixed.
This is the pretty side now. It used to be the ugly side.
Yeah, she doesn't have to climb in and out of the driver's side now, so
Definite plus.
doesn't have to ride in the back now. But they did a good job. We had a Estes collision in Miami, Oklahoma, do the work. They replaced the bumper, the grill, the hood, the fender, both doors, the headliner, seat belts, running boards. They did a lot of work, and they did a really good job.
Yep, excellent job.
One of the other things that we've done while we've been here is finished up our solar install. I've got the Victron MultiPlus 2000 watt inverter. I wanted a 3000 watt. The guy talked me into a 2000 watt. I immediately regretted the decision. I don't know if we'll upgrade or not, but we'll see. We've got two Victron MPPT charge controllers, the 150. And I got a couple of breakers out here. We've converted the entire rig from 50 amp to 30 amp. That way we can run everything just like we could if we were hooked up to a 30 amp service with the dog bone. There are certain things we have to consider. We can't run the microwave and the toaster at the same time, stuff like that. But we've been doing that for a long time. All this year while we've been traveling, there's several parks that didn't have 50 amp service. All they have is 30 amp service, so you use what's called a dog bone, and it converts the 50 amp plug on your rig to a 30 amp plug to go into the service. You can run everything because that's the way it's wired. It's wired to your 50 amp breaker. You just can't run everything at once or to throw the breaker on the service. So anyway, what I've done is I've wired everything into here. These are both 30 amp breakers, and I've manually wired the wire coming in from the service down to a 30 amp service now. It still will plug into a 50 amp, or I can use a dog bone and plug into a 30 amp. Either way, the trailer only gets 30 amp, and I can run everything, except maybe both air conditioners at one time. So this is the other end of the solar. This is what makes the solar, and that's the solar panels. I've got 4 panels back here and 2 up front. The 4 panels back here are 315 watts a piece. The 2 up front are 100 watts a piece. Those are the ones that we've been using all year, and that's just really not enough to keep the batteries charged. So total, we have 1,460 watts of solar panels up here. Typically solar panels don't yield the entire like 350 watts per panel, but it's about 80 to 90% of that it will yield. So we have about a kilowatt of solar capability on the top of our rig here.
Now we've tested it out this past week and unhooked from electric and just ran on solar, and everything runs smoothly, so it's been really awesome.
As a matter of fact, one time this week the park lost power and we didn't know. The guy next door said, "Hey, you guys have power?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." "Well, wait a minute, we're running on solar." Because the way it's set up is because the service is wired to the inverter and the inverter is wired to the breaker panel and the trailer. It acts like a pass-through, and there's 20 milliseconds of a switchover between shore power to battery power whenever you lose shore power. We didn't notice.
Yep, had no idea the park didn't have power, so it was great. I mean, not great that the park didn't have power, but great that we didn't know.
Great that we didn't need it.
Yeah.
A couple more things that we've done while we've been stationary. There's a long black cable here that goes that direction. That's the WeBoost antenna. We had to rewire that because I had followed the instructions in the WeBoost box and ran it in through the slide, and during one of our trips pulling the slide in or out, the antenna broke.
Yeah.
Got caught on the slide, so I reran that, and I ran it with the solar wires down the vent, down the vent of the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that we've done is we replaced the slide toppers on the 4 slides here. Those were pretty bad off. They were weathered, and the wind flaps around, and they dry rot and they start tearing up. It's just one of the maintenance things that you have to do. My best friend Mitchell came over, and we replaced all the slide toppers. We still have the awning, the main awning, to replace, but that goes over here, and this tree is in the way, so I can't take the awning out to be able to replace the awning. That's going to be one of the things that we're going to do in Florida. So
Where it's warm.
So while we're in Oklahoma, we're staying here at Grand Country Lakeside RV. It's a pretty nice place. It's an age qualified place, meaning you're supposed to be 50 plus to be able to stay here. No kids, no unruly animals, so if you have a barky dog, they'll kick you out. A lot of rules, but we don't have kids, we don't have pets. Well, we don't have kids that are young. We don't have pets, and it's right here on Grand Lake. The sunrises and sunsets both have been beautiful whenever the weather's been nice.
When we've had sun to cooperate, that is.
I think in the, what we've been in here, about 30, 40 days?
About 45 days.
About 45 days, and I think we may have had a week of sun total.
Yeah.
It's been overcast. It's December in northeast Oklahoma, so.
Yeah. Bottom line is it's Oklahoma, so you never know from day to day.
So that being said, we mentioned just a minute ago that we're going to be going to Florida. Our first stop, however, is going to be Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yep, to see the national park there and enjoy the sights for at least a night.
Yep. Then we're going to head up to Nashville for a week.
New Year's Eve. Yep.
Yeah, be there for New Year's, and then to Florida.
And then to Florida, and we'll be in Florida for a while.
Almost 2 months. It'll be 40 some days, maybe longer. Until, whenever the weather starts warming up in the northern states, we'll be able to start going north and seeing some more parks, national parks. One of the bad things of the Northeast, apparently, is RV parks are closed. It's really difficult to find boondocking for a rig of our size, and so we're going to have to be going to RV parks, and they're just not open this time of year. They get a lot of snow and freezing weather. Yeah. So it's going to be April-ish before we can get into the northern states RV parks.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll be working our way up.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Everybody a star. Everybody sing a Christmas song. Clap it in your palms.
The screen went blank.